The Secret Life of Elk, Guardians of the Silent Forest.
The Secret Life of Elk, Guardians of the Silent Forest. There are places on Earth where silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of something greater. Deep within vast northern forests where mist curls through ancient pines, and the ground glows softly with morning frost, walks a creature shaped by time itself. The elk, majestic, towering, and imposingly calm, as if carved from the spirit of the forest it protects. To encounter an elk is to witness a living paradox, power housed gently, awareness born of survival, beauty held without vanity. Before humans built their first walls, before cities rose and machines roared, elk walked these lands. Their stories follow the rhythm of seasons, written not on paper but on fallen leaves, icy riverbanks, and the whisper of grass bending under their hooves. Their lives are not loud, they do not seek attention, yet they shape entire ecosystems, command fierce battles, lead migrations across mountains, and raise the next generation with unwavering devotion. They are guardians not with claws or roars, but with presence, memory, intelligence, and an instinct older than civilization. To step into their world is to step into a realm ruled not by dominance, but by balance. Not by chaos, but by patience. Not by noise, but by silence that speaks. This is the secret life of elk, a world hidden in shadows, wrapped in mist, and pulsing with timeless wisdom, a world that invites you to listen not with your ears, but with your soul. Before the sun rises, the forest exists in a state between dreaming and waking. A thin layer of frost covers everything: fallen logs, sleeping ferns, the tips of pine needles. The air is cold enough to bite, yet gentle enough to promise the first light of dawn. It is in this fragile moment that the elk begin their day, stepping quietly into a world that feels almost sacred. A lone bull emerges first. He is a silhouette broad-shouldered, towering, his antlers arching upward like a living crown. Each breath escapes in a white cloud that drifts lazily upward, dissolving into the pale morning sky. He stands still, listening. For elk, listening is life. The forest speaks constantly, the rustle of branches, the distant crack of ice, the soft thud of a rabbit fleeing through the underbrush. Each sound holds meaning. The bull tilts his head, ears rotating independently, mapping the forest without moving a muscle. Only when he is sure of safety does he take his first step. Behind him, the herd stirs. Cows rise carefully, nudging their young awake. Calves still small enough to tremble in the cold shake frost from their coats. Their movements are clumsy compared to the adults, but every calf knows the first lesson of life. Stay close, stay quiet, stay alert. What humans call instinct, elk experience as awareness. They do not simply react, they anticipate. The forest is their teacher, their oracle, their constant test. Each day must be earned. As the light strengthens, the herd begins its slow migration across the morning landscape. They move not randomly, but with purpose, following trails older than memory. These are the same paths their ancestors walked centuries before, marked not by signs or maps, but by the deep knowledge passed through generations. Even the calves sense the direction, as though something inside them pulls toward safety, food, and shelter. The bull takes the lead, not through force, but through trust. Leadership among elk isn't about aggression, it's about perception. The leading bull must know where the wolves roam today, where the best grazing waits, where fallen branches hide danger. A careless leader puts the herd at risk, a wise one keeps them alive. The forest around them begins to wake. Birds call from high branches. A fox trots through tall grass, pausing briefly to watch the elk move. Light spills across the ground in long golden beams, revealing dust motes dancing in the air like tiny spirits. This is the elk's world, a world most humans will never witness. As the herd reaches a clearing, the bull stops again. His ears flicker, his nostrils widen, catching scents carried by the wind. Elk navigate partly with sight, partly with sound, but mostly with smell. They know the scent of wolf fur, of bear tracks, of distant danger. They know the smell of snow long before it falls. Nature warns them, whispering through air and earth, and they listen with absolute devotion. Satisfied, the bull steps aside, allowing the herd to spread across the meadow. Cows begin to graze, tearing at frost-covered grasses that crunch softly between their teeth. Calves stay close, mimicking their mothers. The bull does not eat yet. His duty is to watch. Hours pass in quiet rhythm. The sun climbs, melting frost, warming coats. The herd grows more comfortable. Yet even in peace, the elk remain alert. A sudden snap of a twig makes heads rise instantly. Not one elk ignores it. Silence follows, deep, intense, collective. The herd listens as one organism. Only when no further danger reveals itself do they relax again. This constant vigilance shapes the elk's character, calm yet aware, gentle yet ready, quiet yet immensely present. Their survival depends on this balance. Midday arrives. Light floods the clearing. Shadows shrink. The bull finally grazes, his powerful neck lowering, muscles rippling beneath his thick fur. His antlers move like living branches, catching light in sharp angles. These antlers are more than weapons, they are symbols of maturity, health, and experience. They grow each year, larger and more complex, until winter returns and the cycle begins again. The calves begin to play, kicking up soft earth with their small hooves. Play for them is practice, coordination, speed, muscle memory. Even their games prepare them for life. A calf that cannot move quickly or quietly will not survive long. The herd's movement continues through the afternoon, sometimes slow, sometimes sudden, always purposeful. They travel miles in a day, guided by the knowledge encoded in their instincts. They know which rivers freeze last, which meadows offer the best nutrition, which groves provide shelter from storms. To an outsider, the elk seem mysterious, even mythical, but to the forest, they are an essential rhythm creatures whose lives shape the land itself. As evening falls, the the light fades once more. Temperature drops. Mist returns, curling around trunks and drifting between branches. The elk settle in a sheltered hollow, the herd tightly gathered. Calves nestle beside their mothers. The bull finds a higher vantage point, scanning the darkening forest. Night brings danger, but also peace. The forest breathes. The elk listen. The wild calls. And the guardians of the silent forest answer simply by existing. Autumn arrives not with a whisper, but with the slow transformation that sweeps across the forest like a painter's hand. The greens fade, replaced by deep golds and burning oranges. The air sharpens, carrying the crisp scent of fallen leaves and distant frost. And with this change comes a tension, subtle at first, but growing with each passing day, the tension of the rut. For most of the year, elk live quietly, blending into the forest with gentle movements and peaceful rhythms. But in autumn, silence fractures. Something ancient awakens. The bulls feel it like a force rising inside them, the weight of instinct passed through 1,000 generations. They become more alert, more restless, more aware of every sound and scent. Their lives shift from survival to legacy, from watching over the herd to earning the right to lead it. The first bugle breaks the air just after dawn. It begins low, rising sharply into a trembling cry that echoes against cliffs and rolls across valleys. It is unlike any other sound in nature, haunting, wild, powerful. A bull is declaring himself. His voice travels far, announcing strength to rivals and assurance to the herd. Another bugle responds, then another. The forest is suddenly alive with calls, as though invisible threads of sound weave between the trees. Each bugle carries emotion, dominance, confidence, challenge. Bulls use their voices to size one another up long before they ever meet. The dominant bull of the herd listens. His antlers are heavy this season, taller and broader than last year's set. His body carries scars earned from previous battles, reminders of both victory and survival. He steps forward, lifts his head, and releases his own bugle, a deep, commanding sound that cuts through the air like a blade. Silence follows, thick and charged. Some challengers retreat, respecting the warning, but others, younger and eager, move closer. The battle for silence is not just a battle of sound, it is a battle of presence. As the day warms, cows begin to gather in the meadow. They graze peacefully, though their eyes track every movement. Calves stay close, their small bodies radiating curiosity and caution in equal measure. They sense the shift in energy. The forest feels different, as though electricity hums beneath the ground. A young bull appears at the edge of the trees. His antlers are smaller, but ambition burns in his stride. He walks with slow confidence toward the herd, head high, nostrils flaring. The dominant bull notices immediately. His muscles tighten, his chest expands. He steps between the newcomer and the cows, lowering his antlers in warning, but the young bull does not turn back. The first stage of the confrontation begins: posturing. Bulls circle one another, hooves kicking up dust, shoulders rolling forward to make themselves appear larger. Their breaths come heavy, visible in the cool air. They thrash bushes with their antlers, sending leaves flying. Each movement is a message. Look at my strength. Look at my resolve. Think carefully before you challenge me. If posturing fails, the bulls move closer. They lock eyes, dark, fierce, unblinking. The forest holds its breath. Then, with a powerful surge, they clash. Antlers crash together with a sound like branches breaking under a winter storm. Sparks of bark and dust erupt from the ground as the bulls push against each other, hooves digging into the earth. Their entire bodies tremble with strain. They twist, shove, pull, each trying to unbalance the other. The energy is raw, primal wildness at its purest. The herd watches silently. The cows stand still, calves pressed close to their legs. They do not interfere. This battle is older than memory, a ritual etched into the fabric of their world. The young bull fights with courage, but courage alone cannot outweigh experience. The dominant bull shifts suddenly, catching his rival off balance. With one final, forceful push, he sends the challenger stumbling backward. The young bull regains his footing but does not return to the fight. He lowers his head in acknowledgement of defeat and retreats into the trees. The forest exhales, Victories like these maintain order. Without them, chaos would threaten the herd. Dominance is not about tyranny. It is about ability. The strongest, most watchful bull ensures survival for all. His victories protect calves from predators, guide the herd to food, and guard the cows during vulnerable seasons. But battles are costly. The dominant bull bears new cuts on his neck, new bruises beneath his fur. He breathes heavily, exhaustion creeping through his limbs. Yet he stands tall, bugling once more, declaring to the forest that he still holds the crown. His bugle echoes across the meadow, scattering birds from high branches. Even predators pause. Wolves, listening from a distant ridge, consider the challenge. A strong bull with a large herd is a tempting target, but also a dangerous one. As the sun sets, painting the sky in shades of gold and ember, the bulls continue their ritual. Bugles rise from every direction. Some bulls thrash their antlers against trees, stripping bark and shaking branches. Others chase each other briefly, testing strength without full commitment. When night falls, the meadow darkens into a sea of shadows. Yet the bugles continue, eerie and beautiful in the moonlight. For hours, the forest resonates with the voices of warriors seeking legacy, purpose, and recognition. But silence is never fully broken. Even in conflict, elk move with a strange kind of grace, a respect for the forest that raised them. When the battles end, the calm of the wild returns just as quickly as it left. By dawn, mist drapes the meadow once more. The herd grazes quietly. Calves rest. The dominant bull stands watch, weary but unbroken. The season of challenge will continue, but so will the rhythm of life. Nature demands both conflict and calm, both storm and stillness. The elk understand this balance better than any creature. In their battles, they reveal a truth humans often forget. Strength is not the loudest voice. It is the courage to protect what matters even when silence is at stake. Spring arrives slowly in the silent forest. Snow retreats from the higher slopes, rivers swell with melted ice, and the air carries a scent of renewal. Earth soft, grass crisp, and leaves budding with cautious green. Life stirs, and with life comes movement. The herd prepares for the long migration, a journey written in their blood, guided by instinct and the rhythms of the seasons. Arinder, the old bull, feels the call as deeply as ever. His antlers, heavy with growth, scrape softly against low branches as he steps forward. Behind him, the herd stretches, calves now larger, mothers vigilant, and young bulls testing their strength. The trail ahead is familiar yet unforgiving. Mountains rise, rivers twist, and predators lurk along unseen paths. Every step must be calculated, every movement deliberate. The first challenge of spring is food. Winter's harshness has left the forest sparse in some areas. Fresh grass pushes through thawed earth in patches, tender shoots carrying the promise of strength and sustenance. Arinder moves the herd carefully, choosing paths that maximize feeding opportunities while avoiding thin ice or hidden ravines. Each step saves energy. Each decision preserves life. Calves follow, awkward and uncertain, their legs trembling with new confidence. Rivers glint like silver snakes across the valleys. Arinder stops at a shallow crossing, listening to the rush of water. He steps first, hooves finding purchase on submerged stones. One by one, the herd follows, carefully balancing, calves slipping slightly but quickly recovering. The water is cold, biting, but life demands crossing. Predators often wait near such passages, wolves or mountain lions drawn to the vulnerability of a herd on the move, but Arinder's calm presence reassures the young bulls. He walks without haste, without fear, teaching them the rhythm of survival. Steady, precise, mindful. By midday, the herd reaches a meadow bathed in sunlight. Flowers bloom cautiously between tufts of grass, insects hum in the warmth, and birds return to the treetops. Here, they feed freely. Mothers graze while keeping an eye on their young. Young bulls spar lightly, antlers clashing in playful tests of strength. The calves rest intermittently, observing lessons older than any human memory. Yet migration is never solely about food. It is about endurance. Distances are vast, and predators unrelenting. Wolves shadow from a distance, observing, learning patterns, waiting for a lapse in vigilance. Arinder senses them, muscles coiled, eyes scanning the forest edges. His herd follows without hesitation, trusting in his knowledge and experience. Every glance, every movement communicates guidance. Every hoofstep is a lesson in resilience. As the sun dips, shadows stretch across the landscape, and the herd reaches a narrow valley flanked by steep cliffs. Mist rises from the thawing ground, creating an ethereal veil over the path. Arinder pauses, assessing the safest route. Young bulls shift impatiently, calves whimpering softly, sensing the tension. Crossing here is necessary. The valley is the fastest way north, but it is dangerous. One misstep could spell disaster, yet he moves with precision, guiding them through narrow passes and hidden ledges, teaching them the balance of caution and courage. Evening brings rest. The herd clusters together, bodies pressed close for warmth. Arinder stands sentinel, antlers scraping branches, ears rotating at every sound. Night in the forest is alive with whispers, owls hunting, coyotes calling, wind shifting through the trees. Every sound tells a story, every shadow holds a lesson. For the elk, listening is survival. Breathing deeply, calves drift to sleep against their mother's sides, lulled by the rhythm of the herd and the security of leadership. The migration continues across days and nights. Hills rise and fall, rivers twist, and forests thicken. The herd adapts, calves growing stronger, young bulls learning not just strength but timing and awareness. They cross streams, wade through marshes, and climb rocky ridges. Each obstacle teaches patience. Each challenge demands unity, and every predator lurking nearby sharpens their senses. The silent forest is unforgiving, but it rewards those who move with purpose. One morning, the herd reaches a vast plateau where the grass stretches endlessly. The air is thin, sharp, invigorating. Elk scatter to graze, antlers catching the sunlight like polished bronze. Calves stumble into soft grass, mothers watch, and young bulls spar with cautious enthusiasm. The old bull surveys the scene, feeling the herd's strength, witnessing the culmination of their journey north. It is not merely a physical journey, it is a passing down of knowledge. Every step, every risk, every victory is recorded in memory, encoded in instinct, ready for the next generation. As dusk falls, shadows grow long, and the herd prepares for the night. Wolves prowl in distant valleys, yet no fear touches the elk. Arindor's calm presence transforms the herd into a living fortress. Antlers intertwine, bodies press together, hooves sink into soft earth. The rhythm of life continues uninterrupted. Every breath is measured, every movement deliberate, every life protected by awareness, experience, and unity. The silent forest teaches a final lesson through migration. Survival is not about speed alone. It is about wisdom, observation, and adaptability. It is about moving with the herd, trusting leadership, protecting the vulnerable, and respecting the landscape. The elk embody these truths with every hoofstep. They navigate danger, scarcity, and uncertainty with the grace humans rarely witness. And as Arinder gazes over the northern valleys, watching his herd settle for the night, he knows that this journey, repeated for centuries, has preserved life itself. And for those who watch, who listen, and who follow, a lesson emerges. Strength alone is fleeting. Awareness is eternal. Unity is invincible. Life thrives not through dominance, but through connection, patience, and the courage to move forward together. Autumn arrives in the silent forest with a fiery whisper. Leaves turn gold, crimson, and amber, carpeting the forest floor in a soft mosaic of color. Mist rises from rivers in the cold morning, wrapping the valley in an ethereal glow. The elk herd feels the rhythm of change. Food grows scarcer, temperatures drop, and the days shorten. Each movement, each decision becomes crucial. Survival is no longer just a matter of instinct, it is a test of strength, endurance, and the unity of the herd. Arinder, the old bull elk, leads with calm authority. His massive antlers scrape low branches, a crown worn with experience. Young bulls follow, testing themselves in light sparring, learning the subtle art of balance between aggression and strategy. Calves, now nearly grown, mimic their elders, exploring the limits of their legs and strength, learning which paths are safe and which are traps. Every moment is a lesson, grazing carefully, stepping wisely, staying alert to predators, and understanding the forest signals. Autumn is the season of preparation and confrontation. Wolves and mountain lions grow bold, hunting harder before the winter arrives. Arinder senses danger in the rustle of leaves and the sudden silence of birds. The herd tightens its formation. Mothers shield calves, young bulls flank the rear, and the old bull walks the center, a living anchor of protection. A sudden crack a branch underfoot alerts the predators. A wolf pack emerges from the shadows, eyes yellow, teeth bared, muscles coiled for the hunt. Arinder reacts instantly. Antlers rise in warning, nostrils flare, breath steaming in cold air. The herd moves as one flowing, synchronized wave of brown and gold. Calves are shielded, mothers move in front, young bulls charge in readiness. The wolves circle, but the herd's cohesion is flawless. One misstep for a wolf could bring disaster. One lapse for an elk could mean death. Yet they move with precision, training passed down over generations. Survival is not random, it is honed, instinctive, communal. The confrontation escalates. A young wolf lunges at a calf, but a bull intercepts, antlers swinging in a controlled, powerful arc. The predator retreats, calculating its next move, but the elk's defense is coordinated, impenetrable. Arendor's eyes meet those of the attackers, unyielding and commanding. The wolves, sensing the herd's unity and strength, retreat silently, vanishing into the forest shadows. Exhaustion follows confrontation, but the herd does not falter. They move toward fertile valleys, where streams flow freely and grass grows resilient despite autumn's chill. Calves rest, mothers graze, and young bulls spar lightly, testing strength while learning restraint. Arinder walks the ridge, observing, guiding, teaching. Every movement of the herd, every interaction, every choice in timing and direction communicates lessons older than humans' resilience, courage, observation, and unity. As the sun dips behind the mountains, casting long shadows, the forest hums softly with life, preparing for the harshness ahead. The elk settle in a grove sheltered by towering pines. Antlers overlap in silent signaling. Bodies press close for warmth, and the herd sleeps in unison. Predators roam, yet none dare approach. Leadership, cohesion, and instinct have kept the herd alive. Even in the quiet, there is learning. Calves absorb the vigilance of their elders. Young bulls memorize the angles of attack and the timing of defense. Mothers remember feeding roots and hidden springs. Arendor's lessons are etched into their behavior, ancestral knowledge that ensures the herd survives through another winter, another cycle of birth, growth, struggle, and renewal. Night deepens, and the stars emerge above the silent forest. A crisp wind carries scents of pine, earth, and distant prey. The elk herd breathes steadily, a symphony of life and balance. Autumn is harsh, but it is beautiful, a reminder of nature's uncompromising rhythm. Every struggle is met with strategy, every danger countered with unity. Survival is never guaranteed, but it is earned with patience, awareness, and loyalty. As Aaron watches from a ridge nearby, he understands the profound lesson the elk have carried through generations. Life is not about being the strongest or fastest, it is about harmony, awareness, and connection. Strength is measured in protection, courage is proven in endurance, and wisdom is revealed in the ability to move as one. The elk endure because they live together, learn from one another, and respect the forest that sustains them. Autumn fades, winter approaches, and the cycle prepares to begin anew. Yet the story of the elk is timeless, a testament to the power of instinct, leadership, and unity. They are the guardians of the silent forest, living in a delicate balance where every choice matters and every life is precious. And for those who follow their story, a truth emerges. Survival is not about conquering the world, it is about understanding it, respecting it, and moving forward together. As the moon rises over the silent forest, the elk herd stands on a ridge, antlers silhouetted against silver light. They have faced storms, predators, scarcity, and time itself, and yet, they endure. Arinder lowers his massive head, calves nuzzle mothers, young bulls spar gently, and life flows quietly, powerfully, and beautifully. In nature, the ultimate lesson is clear: unity is strength, awareness is power, and respect for life is survival. Humans may forget, but the elk, the silent guardians of the forest, will always remember, and they will always teach those willing to watch and listen.